All right, it's 12:02. I think we're going to go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third session of our virtual 2020 Make Your Mark conference, brought to you by Zoom webinar and sponsored by our Iowa Developmental Disabilities Council. I'm Brooke Lovelace. I'm the Executive Director of the Iowa Developmental Disabilities Council. Although I'd really rather see all of you guys in person today, we are excited to be able to offer you this great lineup of virtual sessions over the month of September. We've been doing these every Tuesday during the noon hour. I do want to thank you for your time for being here today. We'd also like to thank Amera Group, Talk to Me Technologies, and Relay Iowa and Telecommunications Iowa for exhibiting with us this year. We do truly appreciate your involvement and your support with the virtual conference, and your commitment to providing Iowans with the resources they need to stay active in their communities. If anyone would like more information about Amera Group, Talk to Me Technologies, or Iowa Relay and Telecommunications Iowa, please contact us separately outside of the session, and we'll have our contact information on the screen for you there. Do please remember that all attendees are muted. We will be running a live Q&A session at the end of this live Q&A at the end of the session, and that Q&A feature is located in the bottom of your screen in the toolbar. So if you have any questions, you can just pop them in there. You can toggle over the bottom of your screen to make your toolbar appear. You can also ask your questions through the chat feature located in the same toolbar. Please also note that closed captioning button located in the toolbar. We're hoping that that's working today. We did have issues with that last session. But you can click on that if it's to turn on the closed captions. But if you do miss anything, don't worry, we'll be sending around the on-demand recording to everyone attending today when it's available. So we are joined today by SueAnn Morrow, Iowa's Money Follows the Person Initiative, as well as the panel members from 43 North Iowa, Hope Haven of Rock Valley, we have Hope Haven of Burlington, and then Able Opportunities. SueAnn works directly with individuals and disabilities participating in this program that they're talking to you about today, and works with agencies to provide quality services. She also works on policy issues that might impede quality service delivery. She has over 30 years of experience in the field of rehabilitation, including both direct service as the executive director of an agency she co-founded, and providing training and technical assistance to community rehab providers. SueAnn also, back in the day, was the past chair of our DD Council. I've had the opportunity to actually work with SueAnn for the last 10 years, and she is truly a strong advocate for employment for all. Today, SueAnn will introduce to you the Work Autonomy App developed by Jennifer White of Able Opportunities from the state of Washington. We will learn about the working parts and listen to success stories from Iowa shared by staff and self-advocates. The DD Council is also a proud sponsor of this project. So I want to thank SueAnn and our panelists for being here with us today. We're super excited to have you, and I'm going to turn that over to SueAnn.
Great, thanks. We're excited to be here. We're excited to be at the third session of the Make Your Mark 2020 conference, and thank all the attendees out there, even though we can't see them, but thanks for being there. Next slide. In 2018, the National Disabilities Council, or National Council on Disabilities, recommended that new technologies be developed that would increase the autonomy and the independence of supported employees in the workplace. There was a realization that the way we were providing long-term supports was probably not sustainable, and also that sometimes a job coach would come between the supported employee and their supervisors or coworkers. So something really needed to be different, something new tried. Next slide. So we were lucky that the 3 CRPs that we asked to join us in this effort agreed. They are, like Brooke mentioned, Hope Haven Area Developmental Center. They're down here in Southeast Iowa by that blue star. 43 North up in Mason City, which is north central Iowa. And then My Choice Employment, which is part of Hope Haven Rock Valley, no relation to Hope Haven Burlington. And so they're up in the northwest corner of the state. And then that blue star that's out of the state represents Jennifer White, and who founded Able Opportunities, as she served as the consultant on this project. Next slide. each site had a team lead, if you will. They kind of made sure things were going well and things kept happening. And so they were the team leads. But as you can see from our collage, when they got back to their agency, they recruited other people to help. And so I said I wasn't going to say this, but I am. We did call ourselves the cool kids, and we are. Next slide. There were basically three focuses of this project. First, the Work Autonomy App that Jennifer developed to really increase the communication relationships between the supported employee and his or her supervisor and coworkers. The second was to use iMovies to make video resumes or film, and you'll see how we've kind of expanded that and had great fun with it. The third focus was really employer engagement. And that was using business model and business language to show the employer how working with the employment agency, in this case the CRP, would really make good business sense for them. Next slide. So how did we get here? Well, the DD Council put out a request for proposals called Employment Transformation Initiative. And so one of the things that they said they would fund was technical assistance and training from a subject matter expert. Well, some of us, given that 2018 report, thought immediately of technology. Let's think about technology. Well, when you think about technology in the rehab field, you have to think about Jennifer White and the Work Autonomy App. So that's where we headed, and each CRP wrote a grant, and they were similar, but they had some unique parts to it. Now, the thing that was kind of amazing that this worked was that all three projects had to be funded or it wouldn't work at all. So we were fortunate that all three were funded, and the funding covered the training and technical assistance from Jennifer and Able Opportunities and the hardware and software that we needed. So that meant buying 21 iPads as well as the Work Autonomy app, as well as some other apps that we needed. Most of them were free, but some of the others that we needed. Next slide. Okay, we started off with a 2-day kickoff, if you will, in November. Jennifer White came and did a 2-day training with us. Then we had on-site. In November, we had an on-site, or I'm sorry, January, we had she came back and we had an on-site TA. She spent, and her colleague Bethany spent 1 day each at each of the sites. So that was very helpful. We were supposed to have monthly virtual TA following with a August kind of wrap up. Well, of course, COVID hit, so we ended up with no August, but the virtual TA was up to weekly or every other week, depending on what the team needed. Next slide. Okay, have CRP, have focus. While all the CRPs worked on all the focuses, it turned out that it seemed like each one kind of had a favorite, one that they really delved into or ran with it. And they made some amazing finds along the way, I tell you. So let's get to their stories. Let's see what they've learned, what their takeaways were, what they're excited about, just their experience. I'll turn it over to Eva, and she'll talk about Hope Haven in Burlington, how they did it. Eva?
Thank you, SueAnn. My name is Eva Castillo, and I'm the director of the Hope Haven Area Development Center. And so basically, in November, we were asked to go and meet with Jennifer to kind of outline what this stuff was going to be able to do for us, and we were a little nervous. Hope Haven is maybe a little behind in the times, I would say, I guess, not maybe technology strong, but we were excited about the opportunity to do that. And who wouldn't be excited to work with SueAnn and Jennifer White? So we were super excited. I went all by myself and then brought all this information back to my my team members, Brittany and Amanda, and they were nice to me and said, okay, sure, let's give this a try. And so I focused in on maybe wanting to do like the employment engagement. We have some small group employment that would be great if we could transition, but we really were able to use the Work Autonomy, use the iMovie, and even, played around with the business pitch a little bit, and we'll still continue to try to finish that up. But really, the work autonomy is what Brittany's going to talk about. I think next slide. And she's going to give some of that knowledge and expert training that she gained over just the conversations and the trainings from Jennifer. So Brittany.
Next slide. Hi, my name is Brittany. I'm an employment specialist and lead job coach for Hope Haven. Eva put me in charge with working with individuals on the Work Autonomy app. Next slide. We use the Work Autonomy app for multiple individuals at their jobs in collaboration with IVRS in completing work assessments. Next slide. This is Barry. He is pictured on the right. Barry started in shelter workshop settings and then went on to small group employment. He is now employed at Cobblestone as a hotel attendant. We really wanted to bring the Work Autonomy app to Barry because we saw the potential for him to be more independent at his job. David is not pictured because they did not want to share his picture. David started in shoveled workshop and is now working in small group employment. He is currently working with Hope Haven and IVRS to find a community job. David is largely nonverbal, which adds a level of difficulty with him learning new tasks. IVRS authorized a work assessment at a child care center. We wanted to incorporate the Work Autonomy app to help David learn new tasks and become more independent. This is a placeholder of Barry's Work Autonomy app, which we keep on our iPad in order to troubleshoot changes that may need to be made. Components such as pictures for visual cues, voiceover on the pictures, and video recordings for modeling cues can be added so that any individual can understand the app. When the individual clicks on the task, a timer will start. When the individual clicks on, you can program the timer to count down or count up. Each task can be broken down into steps as pictured here. You're also able to set a number counter. For example, when Barry changes the trash, there are 5 trash cans that need to be changed. We have programmed the app for Barry to count down from 5. After he changes each trash can, he taps the number and it counts down. You can program it as well to count up. All data is collected in a graph and the individual can see this graph and share it with their employer. They can even share it by email. This helps individuals be able to see their productivity and help keep them on task. This is what a completed schedule looks like. David's has pictures and voiceover captioning. All David's tasks were timed counting up. The app should be set up for what prompts look like through the individual's eyes. The Work Autonomy is meant to replace verbal and modeling prompts from Job Coach. We learned a lot about David and his learning styles during this assessment and using the Work Autonomy app. We were apprehensive about how we would be able to teach David to use this app. We were pleasantly surprised that by day 2, David was using the app independently and was very excited to do so. If David completed all his tasks while using the Work Autonomy app, he was able to purchase a coffee after work, and David loves coffee. Next slide. Sarah came to us as a referral. Sorry, next slide. Sarah came to us as a referral from IVRS for work assessments. With that collaboration, we were able to bring in the Work Autonomy app as part of that assessment. I was able to bring in all that I have learned from previously working with Barry and David's Work Autonomy app. At that point, we knew the individual needed to be more involved in setting up the Work Autonomy app. Sarah chose colors, font, took all the pictures, and wrote all captions. Sarah was completely hands-on during this whole process. We also knew at this point that we needed to make sure that Sarah's employer was on board to use the app and hold her accountable for using the app. This is something we struggled with very early on and made sure to make this a priority at this point. Sarah wanted to be able to share her thoughts about the Work Autonomy app. Here's what she had to say. This is Sarah. She works at Sunny Supermarket in West Point and uses the Work Autonomy app to be more independent. This is what she has to say about the Work Autonomy app.
I really enjoy using the app, and it's very helpful for me to stay focused at work and trying to make sure that my progress is being made, and by working hard and greeting the customers when they come in the store. It's very easy for me to use, and I really enjoy using it at work because it keeps me busy, and I really want to do a good job to impress my boss. It has all my daily tasks and my routine of everything that I'm supposed to be doing, and it's very accessible, and it pretty much times all my stuff and my progress to see how long it takes me to do stuff. It helps me remind me to stay on task and to keep busy and to move much more faster because it's timing me. I would recommend it to others for people who are in need of jobs and who are looking out there trying to find a job, and the app is really affordable. You can download it from the App Store, and you can start using it whenever you go into work with the job coach for like an assessment, and it's really helpful and useful for me, and it's really good.
Now Eva is going to share about how we use the grant to make advocacy videos. Eva?
So, we were using the Work Autonomy app, and then COVID happened, and we were like, okay, so what can we do to keep using the apps and the technology and the iPad, so that way we're skilled as the experts that SueAnn wants us to be in the state. So we started working on an essential worker advocacy video. This is Matt Camp. He is an essential worker. He remained working during COVID. And so we just wanted to showcase him and let his story be heard. We were hoping that it would help with, federal, dollars that may be coming down, and we wanted our stories to be heard as far as, the people that support the individuals. And so we made a video, and we're just gonna share that here, so.
Hope Haven Area Development Center is a nonprofit organization in Burlington, Iowa, still providing services to individuals in supported employment.
Matt, can you tell me where you work at?
Hy-Vee on Agency.
What do you do at Hy-Vee on Agency?
I put the cards in the store. And been there for a long time.
What's your favorite thing about work?
Cards are fun.
Matt Camp is still considered an essential worker.
Do you enjoy seeing the people?
Always say hi to them. Greet with a smile or say hello.
Matt Camp continues to need the support of his employment services job coach, helping him understand the new rules and regulations set forth by Hy-Vee and the new COVID-19 pandemic.
So what kind of things have you had to do since the virus came?
Wear gloves for protection. Put on my face mask.
Matt recently this week received a mask that he is wearing now at work, and he's practicing what social distancing looks like, and how he again understands the no touch, don't come close.
Since this virus has happened, you've had to stay home and you can't have visitors. How does that make you feel?
Lonely. Kind of lonely.
Matt's job coaches and direct support staff are still needed to assist him in understanding COVID-19 precautions like social distancing, extra hand washing, and wearing a face mask. Please include direct care workers and people with disabilities when allocating funding on the next COVID-19 bill.
These are just some takeaways from Matt. We talked with him the other day and how he felt about his story being heard. It made him feel great. People talk about him. He just can't wait for the virus to be over so he can just go back to go back to Fun City or go back to having fun, visiting his families and things like that, and just having a little bit of normalcy. We made another video that helped individuals as they return to work, and we're not going to show that, but that was more of like what social distancing looked like, wearing a mask, hand washing, and some different things. So we were able to kind of just keep going with it, and which leads into Mandy, and she's going to talk about the video resumes and how she helped with that process. Mandy?
Hello, my name is Amanda Hatton, and I'm a program coordinator here at Hope Haven in Burlington. And Eva really did come back from that training in November and say, hey, I want to do this. And we were like, oh, okay. But it actually really was an exciting process, and I was tasked primarily with kind of organizing the video resumes. We hope to be able to utilize them with several individuals just to be able to showcase their abilities, particularly for individuals who maybe were experiencing some barriers to being hired in the community. We live in, rural-ish kind of Southeast Iowa. We still have some employers that have an idea of what somebody with a disability can do in the workforce that is not very accurate. And they just tend to place those assumptions. And so we were hoping that this would allow individuals to really just be able to showcase their abilities so that people could see them for their abilities, not their disabilities. It was definitely a long learning process for us. If I thought I was tech savvy before, I was absolutely wrong. So I'm very thankful. Jennifer White came in and gave us a bunch of resources for how to collect the pictures and videos. 43 North is actually going to share a little bit of those resources and show you kind of what that looks like. So I won't go into depth there. And you'll actually see in the video I'm going to show here in a minute, or Jennifer's going to play the progression of our video taking skills, because we have some videos in this video resume that we took early on without having known some of those resources, and then some of the video we took later on. So you may see the differences in that part as well. But it was even simple stuff, just learning to take the videos and pictures in landscape mode, capturing everything to make sure that the videos were accessible for everybody. And the biggest thing we learned is making sure to include the individuals in the process. I think with traditional job development, we get into the habit of doing a lot of that job development for individuals. We make the business contacts, we do the business proposals, and then we kind of bring the individual in partway through. And we really had to have kind of a shift in how we did things to know that the individual had to be a part of this process from day one. So it was definitely a fun experience. So Jennifer, do you want to go ahead and play the video, and then we'll share Keziah's thoughts.
My name is Keziah Solomon. I am looking for a job and at a new restaurant with new, supportive, and friendly people. Qualifications. I am a hard worker. I work well with other people. I am good with customers, and I am a fast learner. Work experience. I work at Hardee's. I clean. I help take food to customers inside and outside. And then I help the people with their job. I worked at Walmart in West Burlington from May 2016 to August 2016. I used to work at Walmart. I have a cashier. I help customers, make sure to give them the right money back, and then back up the groceries. Hobbies. I go to church with my mom. I'm in a Sunday school class. I do Special Olympics for like swimming, track and field, and bowling. Hi, my name is Keziah, and I am excited to work for you.
Awesome. So we asked Keziah, what she liked about the process. She really enjoyed having us a part of that process with her. And then asked her who she was most excited to share her video resume with. She loves eating at Applebee's, so she really wants to be able to share that with them and hopefully get a job there. So the ladies from 43 North are going to present their stuff. So I'm going to hand it over to Jessica, Amber, and Kara.
Hey everyone! So our focus for this project was learning and implementing technology and film tools to empower the youth and the young adults that are part of our Project Search program. Next. One of our goals was to learn to create films to help those we serve tell stories about themselves, their lives, and what they can do. We want our Project Search class to be able to learn to create high-quality video resumes and self-advocacy films that they can use now and in the future to enhance their lives and achieve their career goals. Next. During our work with Jennifer at Able Opportunities, we learned that video resumes allow employers to see potential employees rather than their barriers. Employers say that they want to connect directly with the in-person interviewing, and a video resume offers a direct connection through any existing barriers between the employer and the job applicant so that the employer can see the applicant's qualifications for that job. Because our 2020 year Project Search was cut short due to coronavirus shutdowns, we had an extended period of time to learn how to make our own video resumes on iMovie so that we can feel comfortable teaching these skills to our interns when they arrive next month. At first, the whole prospect of creating a video resume was new and very overwhelming to us, but using the basic format of a traditional resume and then using a video resume planning worksheet that Jennifer introduced to us helped us to organize our thoughts as we discussed what information we want to share and how to best capture that information in a visual way. In the video resume sample that we created, we were able to use placeholders for us to reference to as we worked so that we knew what content we still needed to capture and where it would fit in the overall film. This video resume that you're about to see is an example that we collaborated on to use as a model when we teach our interns how to make their own video resume.
Amber Kratz, 1509 10th Street Southwest, Mason City, Iowa 50401, 641-210-5856, amberkratz@hotmail.com. Dedicated, service-minded individual with over 12 years of experience delivering high-quality vocational services to at-risk youth, seeking opportunity to bring high level of integrity and care to a service coordination position.
I'd like to help your organization by creating strong partnerships with students, their families, and their teams, by increasing the number of referrals to your transition services, and by improving the employment outcomes for the youth and young adults in your services.
Work experience. NIVIC Services, Employment Coordinator, August 2007 to present.
In my current job, I work closely with alternative high school students, students in special education, and young adults to help them on their paths to employment. I balance my time between schools, my office, and the community to best serve students and their teams. I am responsible for helping clients we serve write their transition or service plans. I treasure the moments in which I've been able to see our youth grow in their confidence and achieve their goals. My manager, Jen Faust, says that I am always flexible to help out wherever needed, and that I always have a calm approach and a positive outlook. Sunset Elementary School, Paraeducator, August 2004 to August 2007. I worked in a reverse integrated special education preschool classroom in Clear Lake, Iowa for 3 years while I was in college. Some of my responsibilities were making sure all kids got into the building safely in the mornings and got picked up safely in the afternoons, providing one-to-one support to students in their learning, socialization, self-care, and play, and preparing and providing fun and engaging learning activities for all students. Tracy Thompson was the principal at the school when I worked there. She said I brought energy and creativity to the class to keep the students feeling special and engaged.
Qualifications. I learned early on in childhood many valuable qualities while living with and helping care for an older sibling with disabilities, including patience, kindness, acceptance, and compassion. Not only did I learn very quickly how to be a caretaker, helping with daily living skills and support, but involvement in Special Olympics and other social activities gave me lots of exposure to not just my sister, but many others with varying abilities. My sister is nonverbal, so connecting with her and understanding her needs became second nature to me, making me more aware of difficulties others are going through. I learned that the world can be a difficult place for those who don't fit a norm. Those early lessons in intolerance and even cruelty gave me a deep desire to work on behalf of those who cannot always speak for themselves. The qualities my sister has taught have been a gift I have been able to use in many different settings, including residential facilities, homes, work centers, and places of community employment. Through all these platforms, I have been able to directly work with individuals and also work on different programs and grants to continue my learning and efforts to help others.
Education and interests.
I graduated in 2009 from Mason City High School. During my free time, I enjoy spending time with my family, watching motocross, and fishing.
I believe that my skills and experience would be a strong addition to your team. If you'd like to meet to further discuss my qualifications, please call me at 641-210-5856 or email me at amberkratz@hotmail.com. I really look forward to meeting you. Amber Kratz.
Okay, so the second film project that we worked on was creating a video brochure for our program that we can share with individuals and families that may be interested in learning about Project Search. So deciding to be a part of our program is a big step and a big commitment, and it's understandably scary when you have no idea what to expect or what the process or the experience is going to look like. So Jennifer highlighted the fact to us that describing the program in words or just referencing bullet points on a piece of paper doesn't do a lot to ease the worries of young people who might fear change or the unknown or be put off by the idea of working in a hospital. So having a visual representation in which they can see our program come alive off the page that appeals to the visual brain, we think will be a huge asset in helping potential applicants see what our program is all about and what to expect as they move forward with us. So the process of making the video brochure was pretty similar to making the video resume. We started by using the same format and headings as our paper brochure, and we used that as an outline to organize our content around. We then filled out a video brochure planning worksheet that Jennifer developed with us that was just like the video resume planning worksheet. We discussed what we wanted to get across in each section of the brochure and then made notes about how to best capture that message in a visual way. So you'll see with the video brochure that we still do have placeholders where we intend to go back and get footage when we're able to get back on campus at Mercy One North Iowa Medical Center when we start our program up again next month.
Project Search North Iowa. High School Transition Program. An internship program designed to transition young adults into employment. Program Overview. The Project Search North Iowa High School Transition Program is a unique one-year school-to-work program that takes place entirely at Mercy One North Iowa Medical Center. The program operates on the Mason City Community School District calendar from August through May. Interns participate in employment-related instruction and are assigned internships in up to 3 departments within Mercy One.
The program provides real-life work experience combined with training in employability and independent living skills to help young adults with significant intellectual and developmental disabilities make successful transitions from school to productive adult life. The goal for each intern is community employment. Guidelines for applicants. Project Search partners with staff from your support agencies, like teachers and case managers, for student enrollment. All applicants must be eligible for Iowa Vocational Rehabilitation Services.
Consists of being dependable, flexible, hardworking, and kind.
Hygiene and grooming at Project Search is important because you're working in a hospital.
During Project Search, I've learned how to handle my emotions, be more independent, and be flexible with changes.
Application process. Interested parties can schedule a visit to the program. Project Search staff will join your IEP meeting to get to know you better and establish work-based goals for the upcoming school year. Space is limited. Applications are accepted in your last 2 years of school. Work with your team to submit your application materials by April 1st. The Project Search Advisory Committee reviews application packets and notifies eligible students and families of their acceptance by letter. Accepted students will attend a 4-day employment boot camp, followed by an orientation with students and their families. If there are spots available, recent graduates may apply and be considered for an internship. Project Search Curriculum. Interns participate in a functional academic course of study that stresses employability and independent living skills. Project Search activities are designed around working responsibly, communicating effectively, problem solving, implementing low and high-tech accommodations, career planning, technology, self-advocacy, and independent community travel skills. Program partners. We have many partners who help make this program possible. For more information, contact Jen Faust, office 641-423-3301, cell phone 641-494.
All right, we've learned that creating film projects is a constant process of planning, revising, and improving to create a professional end product. Overall, through this project, we have really expanded our knowledge and comfort level with the apps and capabilities of the iPad, such as Notability, Pages, the Work Autonomy App, and of course, iMovie. These programs are accessible and intuitive tools that we can use to model and teach to those we work with. Next. Now that we have become more adept at using these tools on our own and feel ready to teach these skills, we are working on bringing technology into our everyday classroom, learning, and even our intake and orientation process as well. We have been going through our existing curriculum and program process to identify where these tools can be introduced and where these tools can enhance what we have already been doing. Examples include asking applicants what their tech use on our applications, so we know what they are already familiar with and comfortable using, and incorporating hands-on device time into our orientations. Next. As we start our year, we will be introducing the iPads and helping everyone get comfortable with them by completing simple tasks such as taking a photo of themselves and captioning it. teaching tips that we have learned of how to take good pictures, and moving on to using photo booth, importing photos into iMovie, experimenting with music and sound effects, and making short, fun films together in small groups. We'll also be modeling how to tell stories across environments, which is a great way to learn to build natural supports in the workplace by sharing about our lives. Teachers will share photos and videos of things that they did the night before or over the weekend, and encourage the interns to take turns doing the same each day. As the year goes on, we plan to incorporate the iPads throughout all of our typical curriculum units, including money management, transportation training, and moving into job development tools that the interns can use as they prepare to graduate the program, such as the video resumes. As with the film projects, we have come to learn that the iPad can also be used in our everyday curriculum to make everything that we are teaching come to life in a visual and more accessible way. And now we'll turn it over to Tony, Rachel, and Angela with Rock Valley.
All right. Thanks for having us. We're excited to be a part of the Make Your Mark conference and share our experience with the Employment Transformation Grant. Prior to our involvement, I would agree with Eva and say that we were maybe a little bit on the back burner with being proactive with technology. We like to believe that we're proactive with service provision, but when it came to whether or not we were implementing the tools and the resources that we had effectively, I would say that we were lagging a little bit behind. And this grant really gave us the opportunity to put that technology to the forefront of our service provision and to have an inclusive operating procedure and plan of action that truly implements the resources that we have. Next slide. So this is just some of the pictures of our in-person training that we had with Jennifer. We were lucky enough to get her on this side of the state for 2 days and just spend a lot of time playing and practicing with the iPads and iMovies, the Work Autonomy App. So the other groups have done a good job of walking you through that. And so we're just going to talk briefly about our takeaways. And I think as we were sitting there, really what we did was we targeted 5 people that would go through the in-person training. And we had 2 transition specialists that work with our youth over our service area, 2 employment specialists, and then a lead job coach. And we identified those people as being willing to learn the technology and maybe had a little bit of a heads up on just being able to use an iPad. And then their takeaway and their task is to train another coworker in time and really get everybody that's part of the My Choice team readily available to using the technology as kind of one of the first means that we have of support. You can go to the next slide. So these are some of the takeaways that we talked a little bit about. There is a video up in the top corner, that black screen. If it would, Jennifer might have to click on it to get it going. So that is just something that we used in iMovie. We put it together for different times throughout the year. This was our happy holidays for My Choice Employment. So we used this for marketing and PR on our Facebook page. We also sent it to our funders that we have, our partners, and just let them see people in action and kind of a happy holidays, thank you, hope all is well. Just using those little bits of kind of the little iMovies. I think it ended up being 30 seconds long, and it just showcased what's new and what's going on with My Choice Employment in Hope Haven. So we were able to have things such as that happy holidays. We have plenty of job candidates out there that own their virtual resumes and their video resumes now. So just being able to share those with employers, using the iMovie, like I said before, with marketing, PR, going through the Work Autonomy App. We're not exactly there where we want to be. We're really honing in on some individuals, and we're trying to get it out there the best that we can to find the right match for the job candidate and the person to make sure that they have the ability to do that on site. And then one of the things that Rachel's going to talk a little bit more about here that we are strongly working on and we're going to continue working on is revamping our business model pitch when working with our employers. So I'm going to kick it over to Rachel.
Thanks. I'm Rachel Phipps. I'm the area supervisor with our My Choice Employment program. And part of our work with Jennifer included really taking a hard look at the way that we've been building relationships with employers in our job development and asking ourselves some tough questions. First, are we truly offering partnership to employers, or are we still unintentionally developing jobs from a charity-based model? 2, we are a larger and geographically spread team. And are we offering consistent service and consistent product to employers across our service area? And 3, how can we repair business relationships and move into more of a partnership model? So one of our long-term business partners or partners has been Orange City Area Health Systems. And we worked for many years together on a contract basis with where we were still the employer of record for the individuals that worked there. And we were and felt that they really weren't truly included in their workplace because we were the employers of record and they weren't involved in all the other activities, didn't get benefits, that kind of thing through their employer where they worked. So one of the projects that Jennifer helped us with was developing a presentation and a business partnership pitch to try to help transform our relationship and hopefully mutually benefit both us and Orange City Area Health Systems. So the next few slides, Jennifer, you can kind of just click through as I talk. But Jennifer helped develop this presentation that we did, and we really wanted to show the hospital that we cared about them as a business and what their vision is. So we developed some slides here that you just saw that show how our goals and our vision at Hope Haven align with theirs at Orange City Area Health Systems. So next, we wanted to give them some of the why behind our ask. We'd approached them many times over the last 7+ years, and it always kind of gotten the same response that this contract relationship's really working well for us, so why would we want to change it? So we gave them some history of the civil rights movement for people with disabilities and our desire as an agency and as an industry as a whole to move into full inclusion of people in the workplace and in employment. So, but also wanted to really focus on how partnering with us is going to help their bottom line as well. So to quote Jennifer's, putting the math to the myth behind hiring people with disabilities. So we'd worked on some cost benefits analysis that would show how it would help their bottom line to maybe do some customized positions, and really wanted to, I lost my spot here. Also wanted to give them some information about how partnering with us could really help them with some PR as well. It was really important to Orange City Area Health to be seen as a leader in the business community in our little corner up here in Northwest Iowa. So we wanted to show them how they could really be on the cutting edge as well. So those are just some of the different benefits that we presented to them, and happy to say that they have now agreed that they are going to directly hire the 4 people that were on contract there with them, and they want to add some more people to their positions. So we were pretty pleased and excited about that outcome, and looking forward to how we can implement it with other businesses down the road, which kind of leads me to Angela Johnson, our employment specialist, and she's going to share a little bit about building consistent language.
Hi, my name is Angela Johnson, and I'm an employment specialist here with My Choice Employment Services of Hope Haven. The Employment Transitional Grant has allowed us to work with Jennifer to develop consistent language that we are using to train our other employment specialists to use and work with our businesses in our area. This consistent language will help us reach our goal of being a leader in employment search and a constant person for businesses looking for job seekers. As we develop this constant message and brand, we learn that we do not only work with relationship building with our job seekers, but also develop stronger relationships with our businesses. With the Work Autonomy app, the employer becomes the employer versus the use of a job coach as a spokesperson. The Work Autonomy app also helps strengthen the partnership between our job seekers and their employers by sharing the productivity of their employees. This knowledge will help us develop better hands-on skills in working with our job coaches, our job seekers, and our business partners.
All right, so the last thing that we're going to leave you with is a video brochure with a individual by the name of JD, and we'll just kick right into the video so you can watch and see what JD's Creations is all about.
Oh, hey, I'm JD Bumgarner. I made JD's Creations. What is These creations, it's just metal art made out of junk.
My mission is giving junk metal new life while inspiring others.
JD's Creations was started by Hercule Hawkeye, or The Spark, because it's the first project that started it all. This is my shop. It's a little dirty, but what are shops for? My mom and dad adopted me at a young age.
Here we are, my family, JD's Creations crew.
Lake on a Rake.
Introducing Mr. Frog.
School is hard because I process things slower than other kids do.
The Doberman. Tiger Pride.
I've always been creative, but I found a new way to show it through junk metal.
Red Fan Flower. Wise Owl.
It all started the Forge Buckets of Junk Challenge. Last Christmas, my parents bought me my first welder.
Welding is one thing I have to do to finish a project. This is a tractor I'm creative. I like to be creative. I overcame a lot. These skills will help me in the future. Thank you. Make sure to find me on Facebook. My mission is giving junk metal new life and inspiring others.
So that's JD's video brochure, and he really does want you to find him on Facebook in case you didn't get that message once, twice, maybe 3 times. So check out JD's Creations on Facebook and follow him. He has a bunch of really cool art. I purchased one. He's just awesome kid. So we're very excited about that and just getting him out there and helping him brand himself and his business.
Great. Given the time, I know we have a little bit more content, but given the time, Brooke, are there questions that we need to answer? I have that we have about 5 more minutes. Are there questions we need to answer?
There are, SueAnn. We've got one wanting to know if this is available for any of the Des Moines providers to use, such as Link or Easter Seals.
Well, if they, yeah, I mean, you need iPads and you need the app, and I would recommend you get a Jennifer White. So it makes it a lot easier especially when you're first learning. So, but yeah, if it's an investment. I mean, Brooke, you know, it's an investment, but I think, as you can see, guys, it's well worth it. The change that, you know, this was about employment transformation. And so I think we found out that we can do things differently and have good outcomes, if not better outcomes. Yeah, I'd be glad to talk about how I did it. Of course, Brooke, that
thanks, and that actually goes into our.
Brooke, what'd you say?
Well, that actually leads into some questions that Derek has about the effectiveness of how you guys have been evaluating the effectiveness of it, organizational benefits, is there cost saving and improved employment outcomes?
Some of that's going to have to be anecdotal. Now, Patty and I did work together and get a subject matter approval to ask the employees and the support employees and the employers how they felt about the app. Now, in terms of the video resume, that really didn't factor in. It should have, now that I'm thinking about it, but we kind of focused on the app and what the support employee and the employers thought about it. Was it beneficial? Was it easy? Did it help increase inclusion? You know, as these guys get more skilled and keep continuing, they'll probably be able, if we ask the right questions, they'll be able to give answers, I'm sure, about cost effectiveness and if there is some organizational benefit. And maybe Jennifer has an answer of what she's done in other parts of the country in terms of that.
Yeah, where the goal is fading coaching and people being able to lead and use person-driven tools so they can connect more directly with their communities, employers, and coworkers. So we're finding that the app is on average reducing coaching by just over 50%. Yay. And that's over a very broad scope of individuals who need, people who are non-linguistic, deemed unemployable, lots of behavior in the workplace. So we've got a very broad scope of folks. The video resumes, we have a lot of anecdotal information from employers who tell us regularly, all I could see before was a barrier that I didn't understand, so I had to rely on the coach, which also made me feel like it had to be during a special project. Now I can see a potential employee. And that changes the game. It allows people to connect immediately with their potential employer and their potential employee, and that impact has been profound. We're just starting to gather information about the long-term impact on agencies, because as this team can tell you, the integration, moving it into orientation, like 43 North did a beautiful job of saying, here's what we're going to do next to actually make sure that these tools are sustainable and scalable. And we're just starting to gather some information about that. But given all of the information we've seen so far, we're looking for a great forecast on that as well.
Great. That looks like that's all the questions that we had. We did have a comment from Brady Werger, who's also on our DD Council, who says that the stories shared today really touched my heart, and it's good to see what other people who have a disability are doing statewide. If there's anything I can do to help with spreading the word statewide, please let me know.
That's nice. Thank you, Brady.
If you want to take a minute, SueAnn made an incredible film about COVID to pass to folks. Would you like to take the last 2 minutes to watch that?
Sure.
Okay.
There's a virus out there, COVID-19. It's dangerous. You can't see it, but it can see you. And it will find you if you're not careful. It can make you very sick, maybe having to go to the hospital. It attacks your lungs, making it difficult to breathe. Some people have to be put on ventilators to breathe for them. It can also give you body aches and a fever. You just feel terrible. This is serious. What should we do? First, stay home. Don't go out unless you absolutely have to. If you do have to go out, really have to go out, wear a mask. That protects you and other people as well. Try to keep 6 feet away from people. Keep your distance. Really important is washing your hands. Here's how to do it from Babylon Health.
Wet your hands with water. Apply soap. Rub your hands palm to palm and wash the backs of both hands and in between your fingers. Then palm to palm with fingers interlocked. Clasp your hands together and rub. And then clean around the thumbs too. Rub your fingertips in the palms of your hands and finish off with the wrist. Rinse your hands really well with water and dry them thoroughly with a paper towel.
It can be hard, but work with your house staff. They want to keep you safe. There you have it. Be safe, stay healthy. The end. Thanks for watching. Credits. Producer, SueAnn Morrow, PhD.
Stop there because we're out of time, but films like that, the beauty of this, you can see for all of these teams is that they made things that they can pass on, share with others. You can ask SueAnn directly for a copy of that COVID film.
I'll figure out the link somehow. I don't know what I did, but anyway. Well, again, I think we're at the end of our time. I just want to thank all these guys, the cool kids up there, and of course, everybody who's listening, and especially the DD Council for taking the leap with us to bring this to Iowa and make it happen for folks. We appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, thanks everybody for attending. Thanks to our panelists. Stay
Bye-bye.
safe.